It's official. I've made the most complex Christmas card of my card making life. Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and my studio. To see this very involved but very cute card project come together, stick around. That video is coming up next. Here's a look at the products I'll be using to create today's card, and this is all based on the accordion card-based dies. Now I have used these once. I'll be sure to link that video as well in the description, but this is the new accordion tree farm dies, and this is what it makes. So I am going to do a bunch of die cutting before I get started with the assembly. I'll do that off camera and then we can see all of this come together. So I've spent some good amount of time cutting things out, and I'm going with a really heavy Christmas color theme. This is evergreen. And just to show you the parts of the accordion card base. So you layer these together to make the front, then the single makes the back, and then you cut two of these to give you your scored, can you see the score lines there? There we go, they're right there. And those we're going to fold in a minute. But because I have a plan of order, we'll see how this works. I want to spatter some snow on my background first, so I need to do that while I can still get at it. So let me get set up to add some snow. So I've got my splats box here, and I actually put something under the box to kind of tilt it up a little so you might be able to see it a bit better. And this is the Positively Perfect white. Now, what I'm going to do is open it up. It's pre-mixed. You just kind of give it a little stir and dip your brush in. Now, I am going to tap big blobs off first and then come in and add my snowy background, just like that. So this has to dry before I can assemble anything, but I wanted to do this so I have a snowy scene in the background of my pop-up card. I'll let this dry and get this cleaned up. While that's drying, I can work on planning my two insert layers. Haven't done the lights yet, I'm going to do that last, but I have my two panels, and these also both have a score line on them. And here, I'm just going to do this because then I can pick it up quickly. That is part of the accordion base set of dies. Okay, so you need that part, and I'll set that aside. And so I've cut two out of brown because I basically want all of my brown layers to be trees, and the base of the trees will all be brown, and the signage and whatnot. So these pieces here, this cuts the top off. Let's get it lined up here so that you can layer things in, right? So I'm going to basically create a layer that's going to allow me to pop up both my tree and my sign. And what's going to be left here is the outlines of these things. So let me get my plate out and I will show you this, okay? Because I want this to be in the front. So this one is going to be lower in the scene, but also you have to remember you've got about about a half inch, right, before you see anything. So I want to make sure before I cut this, and I want to come over a little bit as far as I can get about right there, okay? I want to make sure that when I lay this in, you're not going to see much of, or you're not going to lose it, you know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to do here. We're going to push these over right about like that. And actually, I could do these both at the same time. So come on down. Well, I'm going to cut this one. Oh, I can fit them both. This is going to be a little more in the background, okay, with the trees. So I'm going to get this guy to be about right there. And that should be enough. You know what, though? If I come up like this, that's going to allow me to have a little more background that you won't see, but the trees can definitely be glued on, even if that hangs out. It'll make sense once I start adhering elements. So let me cut these out. All right. So let's take that off, and you can see what is left behind, okay? And let's pick this up, and you can see what is left behind here. So I still have my little score lines on both sides, and now I can start adding some things to this. And again, that was a pretty sound. Listen, it's like a jingle bell. And now I can begin to glue some things together. So, you know, there's a little thinking that happens here, but we're gonna use some liquid glue. We're gonna glue some things together. I might as well speed this up a bit, or we could possibly be here all day. Oh, I wanted to show you this. You know how I talk about leaving the glue on my mat and just letting it dry? You can take your adhesive eraser once it's dry, and this is just Connect glue, and this is how easy it comes off. So you can clean it as you go, or you can set it aside after each project and just rub it right off your grip mat, which often I do. So I just wanted to show that because I never get to show it when it's dry, and then there's your glue that was on your mat. The gluing process is pretty straightforward. As I said, I'm using liquid glue for all of this because it just makes it easier. So you can pick any number of cardstock combos for colors. I just decided to go with really simple 2 colors for trees. So I think this is pistachio and artichoke. And then you just start assembling things. Now, I will end up using more things, but that's what's kind of fun about this whole process with this accordion is you can layer in things once you have your core pieces placed. And these 2 bands, if you will, I call them bands of trees, they're going to line up really nicely so that some things show up in the open gap areas, and it's very fun to see it all come together. So got my trees, very simple. And now I'll add on the little wreaths. I did both of my wreaths in the avocado. I probably could have mixed it up here too, but they're just so cute. And you could put more on, but you know how you show up to the tree farm and they're always kind of hanging on a post? I don't know. I think it's a very sweet design. I've got the poppy red cardstock here for the bows, which is the same color I did for the car as well. So then it's time for the card. Now there is a little strip that I cut off, and that strip is there if you want your car to be on the inside of the project, right? So that it can attach to one of the bands. But I cut it off, and I'm going to add just a little piece of white cardstock that I cut to fit because I didn't want see-through windows. Now you can place the windows that cut out. I did have a layer cut for that, but I thought, it looks fine as is. Then I'll just finish out the car with the tires and the bumpers. You could do metallic for some of these as well, but I just wanted to keep it really cardstocky. So that is pebble gray, and we'll get those positioned. Oh, come on now, flip over there. There we go. And the centers of the tires too, I'm just doing in the pebble. But the car's really easy to put together, and well, there we go, a little poppy red car. I thought after the fact it would have been cute to put a yellow headlight on, but you do what you do. I added a few more trees that you can see on the right, and here's also the tree that's going to go on top of the car. Now, I will be adding more trees, but it just kind of, I have to get a feel for it before you know exactly how you're going to use everything. And so that's what we're doing. So wanted to show you as you start to layer things, you can start to picture what your scene is going to look like. Of course, this will come up a bit. I've got more trees that I can stick to the back of this. However, I need to make my little sign first so that I know where I want to layer it. So I think I will just use, oh my gosh, Christmas greetings is cute. So I will just grab my Misty here, slide these things up, running out of room, and we'll go ahead and stamp in our greeting. I think is very cute. And actually I should stamp it twice because I have a little panel here that I can use to cut that out. So we'll pick you up. We will prime you. That just gets the coating off so that it will take my ink nicely. I'm going to use Poppy because the cardstock that I'm using is Poppy. Ink this up, not too juicy. Press. Oh, I'm going to stamp it twice just to get a nice coating. I just didn't want it to be smushy. I might not need to stamp this twice, but I will, because sometimes we make mistakes when we're cutting. Always have that goose to your maverick. I think you know what I'm saying. All right. And I will use this die to cut out the sign. Now that I've got my snowy background dry, my pieces, I'm going to cut some more pieces because I think I am going to need a few more things. But now it's time to take these pieces, the sides where they have all those score lines, and we're just going to start folding them. So you bend them on the score line, give it a press. I'm going to be using a bone folder for the whole thing. And then I'm going to use my magnets, actually the big heavy magnets I have, just to keep them in place and let that crease really work its way in. But that's all you do. You just gently work your way back and forth on the fold score lines. And I'm going to do this, try to keep it straight. Sometimes, yeah, I'm a little off right there. Let's get that in there. Sometimes you can barely see it, but it's there. So I'm going to keep bending and scoring to get this accordion side done. And the last one is that guy. All right, I'm going to give it a good press, and then I'm actually just going to put some magnets on. And what I mean by that is just like take one of those big guys. Where's the other one? It's ginormous. I don't want my magnets to interact with each other, but if you do this, it can really help hold them and let that fold sit. So I went ahead and cut my light strands, and you know what? I did them in the same evergreen because most of the light strands I have in my collection are green. So now that I have these guys nicely folded, I'm going to assemble. I'm going to start assembling some things. So I'm going to be using, okay, I want this to be so that the folded sides are facing out. And so I need to take a strip of, oh, and I think I'm just going to use enamel dots for my lights, but we'll see. There's a die that you can also cut out cardstock lights. But I'm going to start here by taking this double-sided sticky tape. This is Terrific tape from Simon Says Stamp. And I will just get a piece that I need. And I will place this right on the edge of, oh, can I see what I'm doing there? Right there. Should be good enough. And I'll do that on both sides so that I can adhere my thing. But I think I'm going to put one strand of lights on as soon as I get the sides on, and it'll make sense in a minute because I might put some things directly onto the background. This is kind of the fun where, you know, you don't really know how it's all going to come together until you get it all together. So again, I want my curvy parts out. And you know what? I'm just going to take this guy, unfold it a bit, and just line it up right on the edge, right on, oh, come on now, right on the edge of the background. Okay, is that pretty good? Did I get it? Yeah, I think it's good enough. Okay, so now that's on the edge. Actually, I have a quicker tip. If you, I'm not very good at lining things up on edges. I don't know why I even rolled the dice on that one. But here you can just take a corner. And again, I'll take I want my rounded, those parts facing out. And then I'll just take this guy, line it up right like that. That's faster and actually easier for me. Okay, so then that is perfectly lined up. Okay, so now I have these parts, and this is going to be going on top, of course, because that's the front. But I thought before I get too carried away, I'm going to take one strand of lights and pop it here. But before I get, to gluing, I just want to make sure I'm going to be able to see some of it. So I like to try to imagine that one's going to go here. Yeah, that's got to go up a little higher. I would like this to at least show up in the scene. So you can always just sort of press it and figure out where's the first one going to go. And that way you'll know that you have something that's going to be seen above the tops of the trees. So I'm just going to glue that down first. I'm going to open this up a little, pop that here, a little dab of glue. And you can use liquid glue for this stuff too. I'm only going to use, well, it depends. I'm going to pop you there, close you down. I'm going to open you up because I do want it to be flat, and I feel like that I could have gone a little to the edge. So hold on here. I'm just going to cut a tiny bit off like that. There we go, because I really do want that to stay nice and flush. Flat here. Lift you up. Yeah, I'm going to cut a tiny bit more. I glued it a little too close on the other side. Okay, there we go. And a little glue under there. And press you down. So that way, layer one is nice and flat. And as soon as that dries, I can add my little glue dots, because I don't know if I'm going to do a second one, but not glue dots, my enamel dots. Okay, so I'm actually going to, again, employ the use of these, because these are great. Now, granted, I do have a magnetic surface, so mine will stay that way, but these big guys, they're very nice. So I think I'm just going to do a little light color, and I will use my craft pick so I can actually place and see. I think this size will be fine. And we'll just do, come on now, get on there. You. Oh my goodness, it's so little and cute. I'm going to work with just the 3 colors because I don't want it to get obnoxious, you know. But again, there are cardstock pieces that you can use on this. So you do not have to just use something like what I'm using. But I never seem to find a use for enamel dots. So this is making me a little bit happy. And then I'll just repeat the same pattern. And pistachio. And the pistachio is one of the colors I'm using for my trees, but I think it's okay to kind of play here and mix that up. Okay, layer 1 is in place. How cute is that? Okay, background number 1. I need to possibly make 2 more trees before I glue everything together and make the full card. So now's where it gets tricky for me. I am going to start folding along. There's a little score line there. It's kind of hard to see. There it is. On my tab. Okay, so that's tab 1 folded over. And actually, should I try to get that a little straighter? Where is my score? Bone friend. Okay, we're going to go like that. And we're going to bend that one as well. Like that. Okay, so now I have that folded. And what I want to do, I also cut some trees and just cut little strips of brown cardstock so that I could, if I wanted to, and this is where I'm going to just try to figure out where all of this is going to go. Because see how that pops up like that? I need it to not do that. I need it to be super flat. Oh, I need it like that. Okay, I get it. You know what? I think I am going to do a few of my own layers. Let's fold this one too. Okay. Meaning I'm going to keep it open before I close it because I think I have better control over keeping it all straight. You can put the top on first if you like. I actually, did I do it that way on my last one? I don't think I did, but you certainly can. But if I do where I get, again, I've got to figure out the placement relative to the cover hole. The cover hole. Okay, so there's that, right? And then this guy, he's going to go in the first one, or not the first one, but the second one. I just, again, just trying to figure out my placement. Let's get that right in the center. And make sure that wherever he goes, the top guy is going to cover all that I need covered. So I think everything needs to come down just a little bit. Okay, we're going to bring this one down like that. But because I'm going to do that, I want to put a tree on first. Oh my gosh, I hope you can't hear that, but there's like tons and tons of fire trucks going off right now. I want to have a few more trees in the background, so that's where this comes in on the long guy. And you won't even have to worry about the bottom. Okay. Oh, maybe a little more glue right up here though. Doot, doot, doot. This is a longer video because what's going to happen here is you're coming out. I want this to be under the lights. I want it to, oh, I just spread glue. That's okay. And I want it to come down. And I'm going to try to wipe that glue away. There we go. Best of my ability, it's going to dry clear. And it's okay because it's a background. Okay, so there's tree one in the background. And that way you will see more trees. You know what I mean? I want it to look like the lot is full. I have another one over here. And I think this one, I'm just going to come up from the bottom. And I'm not going to do the come down because I think this will be just fine to line this one up. And you're going to go right about there. I don't know if that's a good placement, but that's where the tree's going. And I know that this will cover everything up. So we got lights stringing. We're going to add more in. That's our scene so far. And now I'm going to use liquid glue on this guy because I think if I do, again, I've got to come down further. I think if I do, that it is going to give me a better position because then that goes there. That's going to come up. Yep. All right. Let me just double check. Covering you there and you will be there. Yep. Okay. How do I remember that placement? I will stick that right there. So let's start with one side. Okay. So just a little glue here. I'm going to let that adhere first right into that corner. I'm going all the way over. I'm going to press. Now, even if it's not, I want to make it as straight as I can. That looks good. I'm going to hold that before I glue the other one because my whole goal is to make sure none of this bows out. And so if I let this adhere, then I know when I get this guy in here, it will also be straight. I'm going to come here, glue over here, get you in, and we're going to press you flat and hold. So liquid glue, I think for me, this is probably best in terms of, you know, giving me something that has a little more flexibility. I did it differently the first time and did all score tape, but here again, I can put in more trees and it's all going to come together. So that is exactly what I want. It's nice and flat when it pops. And now I'm going to do the next little bit in. So same thing, take our liquid glue over here. I'm trying not to let it ooze much, but all I have to do now is go into that next slot. I want it to be right over the that so it all shows up brown. And I'm just going to let that sit for a minute right in there like that and press it. Then this guy, he will be flattened right in there. See how the trees sort of overlap like that? That's cute. Bend you back, add my glue, and we're going to come on in and press it flat. This is pretty involved. I don't think I'm going to send this. I'm going to keep it out for people to see. Okay, I don't know where the sign is going to go. I may have to do one more little pop-up in the front for the sign, and I may do that. Okay, tree farm's looking pretty good over here. See how that's now nice and popping up like a tree farm. And then I think I'm going to do one more right in the front so that I can actually have the sign on here. Because otherwise, I don't know. I'm not sure where, well, that's going to take away some of the dimension of it. So maybe all I do, I don't know where the tree sign should go. I want it to be readable. Let me think on that.
5 minutes later.
I decided to try to glue the cover panel on first, and I glued it upside down because I wanted to have that in place, so I just cut out another one. I did this off camera. Okay, now we can continue. I got another one. I put it upside down. Luckily, the glue is going to stay right where I need it. Line you up perfectly on the edge. And I am going to, give me your magnets. I'm going to push it all down like that and let you sit there for a minute. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. You can always cut an emergency backup. This is, this is not something you're going to make for more than maybe a few people. I could be wrong. You might want to make it for everyone you know, because honestly, I think I'll send this. I don't know who I'm going to send this to. Maybe I'll just give it to Dan and say, honey, this is what I do for a living, and see what he thinks. Okay, I'm going to hold this all down nice and flat. I'll let you up for a second. Line that up, because the whole point is to make sure, oh, come on down, that it's flat. Oh, that's going to work. And I can add one more layer to the front for my sign. Okay, so we're just going to let that sit for now. And I'm going to add one more layer that's going to hold my sign. Okay, I made one more layer for the sign. It just keeps getting, but look at how good that looks. Look at how it's all coming together. Now this one, I am going to have to slide in and figure out the placement. I may have to cut some off the bottom, but maybe not, because look at that. See how that's going to come in right like that? It's going to be right in the front. Okay, so I need to do liquid glue and then just press it down. So let's get that out. We're going to add a little bit on, and I still have another strand, and I still have the front to decorate. This may be the most involved Christmas card I've ever done. I think it is. I think officially, as of today, I've never done a more involved card. And you know what? Sometimes you do, and it's just, this is paper crafting, friends, and we love it. Okay, lift. Oh, come on, lift. Get in there. Slide it in. Get glue on your hands, Kath. You're gonna live. Oh gosh, I'm having some trouble. Get in there. Lift down. Lift. It's a little tricky. That's why I liked doing it the other way, but before it was closed. But here you go. We're coming in, and we're going to press it down. Oh, that is so fun. And we're going to hold it. And now I don't see any of the background. Oh, that's working. Okay. So magnet 1 and magnet 2. Where did you go? And then I'm going to do a few little details to put onto the edges, including, you don't need to see all this. I'm going to go ahead and put this on top of the tree, on top of the car, because he's taking the tree. We're going to make it work. I've never done anything this involved in my life, and I love it so much that I can't give it away. I think this is just going to become decor. It's going to become decor for my life, because, I mean, come on, look at, okay. So let's hover the tree or the guy. Okay, we're gonna, and I really like the colors. Like, I feel like, oh, pinch you together. Okay, get you. I don't think I have anything on there that is not straight. Press you in. Oh, I just think the colors are great. And, you could put snow on everything. I thought about it, but then I thought to myself, Kathy, you don't have to do it all. You can be exactly as you are. Oh, more on that side. And you don't have to do it all. You could, but you could, and it would be really cool. So here, this is going to come right to the edge of the cardstock, but I want to come over just a little. Just put it where you put it, Kath. Okay, like that. So that's going to be there. Even a little simultaneous press. I still have another light strand that I'm going to have to figure out. Now, would that look cute to have a little tree right there? Yeah, I think so. Because I still want the sign to be super readable. I mean, I don't know. Do I want it to be a slightly taller tree, though? Let's see, I gone this far. You know what? I think it might need to be so. Do I have another strand of that? I don't want to cut it, let me cut a piece. I want this to look as similar as it can. Yeah, it's probably close enough. Okay, go like that. And we will just glue this together real quickly so that I do have a tree in size that's probably going to work better. I have so much glue on my hands and my surface. See, that way that can come right in there. Yeah, I think that works. Okay. Now you could decorate your trees too if you wanted. I'm certainly not going to, but you could. I mean, this is a craft. This is more than a card. This is a super craft. Okay, drop you there. I want it to overlap a little. Come on, just slide just a bit like that. And I want it to be flush with the bottom, right at that base. That's right where I want it. Now, there are these cute little berry elements that you can put up in the corners. And, well, you know what they said, like in Forrest Gump when he said, well, I gone that far. So I guess we're going to have to do that. But you know what I want to do? I want to have this flattened down to do that. And then I'm going to see if, in fact, I have the wherewithal to add the next little strand of light. So here I will use this one there. Okay, here's what we'll do. We'll get the reds down first. Then I'll know. It's kind of like a boop right in the center here. Okay. Boop. Come over here. Do it in about the same place. Boop. Okay. And then the leaves, I think I have them going in the right direction. It'll be fine. Couple there. Connected. Oh, hold it down. Stay in there. Stay in there, little guy. Maybe I could have used a little more glue on that. That. And hopefully you look fine too. And get you in closer there like that. Okay. We're almost there. We have one more strand of lights. So now let's pick it up. There's all the things. Okay, one more strand of lights, and actually they could look really cute. Oh, come here. Kind of floating back behind the trees. See how I could get it in there if I wanted to? And it would fit, right? Oh gosh, is that what I'm gonna do? Okay. Because I may not have stretched it enough, but let's see. We want to be in that strand land. Oh, well, here. Let's go in here like this. Yep, we're going into that layer. Okay. And I'm going to push it in and press. So there will be some crisscross. I kind of like that. But then I'm going to have it come, well, do I want that to be down like that? Probably. So I'm going to have to figure out the glue on the other one. Pop a little glue right there. And then grab it back and just slide it down. So there's some overlap of lights, but that way you get different layers and dimensions of them. Oh, I think that's really fun. I did put them all in the right order. And that, my friends, is the most involved holiday card I have ever done. That just moved right off its mark. So let's get you back into place. Oh my gosh. Don't mess it up now, Kath. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. No one will notice that glue up there. Okay. And press. I think they all slid. That's okay. I think it's really cute. They did all slide, didn't they? Did that slide? Yeah, that slid too. Get down in there. Glue, glue. Let's just hold those for a second. Now I can say with ease, there's no design review for this. This is the most involved card I've ever done. Look at the inside. Look at all the layers of things happening. That is literally so cute. And the best part is it will fit inside a card. So that finishes my most involved holiday card project I've ever done in my life. I hope this gives you the courage to try something yourself. You can find links to all of the products I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you, so please hit that subscribe button and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. Here is another video that I used this same apparatus. It was a live video, but you can see kind of how I worked through this the first time I used the entire accordion bass system. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.